Hey, soul survivors, we got a viewer topic request on the covert narcissist. What do they feel after a breakup? We're also going to talk about the difference between covert and overt, so stay tuned for that. But a covert narcissist, that is someone who has narcissistic personality disorder, but they hide their true feelings of entitlement, grandiosity, and also self-importance. Behind this facade of humility, shyness, self-deprecation, they love to play the victim. And after a breakup, this covert narcissist, they can experience a big range of emotions depending on their level. This is a key thing, depending on their level of attachment to whichever partner we're talking about and their perception of the breakup. So here are some possible scenario. So if the covert narcissist insisted on the breakup, this type of breakup, the narcissist might feel some kind of power and even control over it, as they were the ones who decided to end the relationship. So they love that power. They might feel a temporary sense of relief that at this time they no longer have to pretend to be someone they're not in order to maintain the relationship. But if the narcissist partner was the source of the narcissistic supply, whether it be admiration or attention, even validation, the narcissist, if they haven't found a new supply, they can feel a sense of loss, and they might try to hoover their ex back into the relationship. They're all about supply. So if they're low on supply, they'll go back. If they found somebody else or something else that's working, they'll do that. And depending on, is the sex better, they may come back, or do you have more money, they may come back, but that's what they feel. If they were the ones that were dumped, this case, the narcissist can still have a range of emotions, but they would be more like anger, hurt, betrayal, and they might feel that their ex has taken away some sort of narcissistic supply, and they can seek revenge or even try to win the person back. So it's either revenge, trying to win them back, and they can also sometimes feel a sense of shame or even failure, as being dumped goes against being idealized, of their idealized self-image. So if it was a mutual breakup, in this case, our covert narcissists, they can kind of feel confused, ambivalent. They might struggle to accept that the relationship is over, and they may try to maintain contact with the ex in order to keep the possibility of a reconciliation open. I noticed a lot of narcissists, especially with that silent treatment, there's really no closure. And it brings me back to days when I was watching soap operas, and I'm like, just say it, just say it. Like, they never communicated the right way. It drove me crazy. I'm like, just say it. So it's kind of like that. They leave the door open for a reason. They do like to hoover back. So, it is mute. If it was mutual, the as a way to maintain their facade of humility and selflessness, they'll portray themselves as someone who is willing to put their partner's needs above their own. And, breakups, there's all different kinds of scenarios, all different kinds of possibilities. But, they go through a wide range of emotions. It usually depends on the amount of supply, who the supply is more prevalent, easy, but a covert and overt narcissism, which one's more dangerous? Overt narcissism is characterized, as we said above, but people with overt narcissism, they often display their narcissistic traits, and they can display those openly. They might engage in behaviors that include aggression. They can be exploitive or manipulative. So this can make them more noticeable when they're overt, and this may cause more immediate harm to those around them. Covert, a lot of times it takes a longer time for that to surface. Overt, you can see it. I think of over the top, overt. They may use their power. Charm, charisma is a manipulation tactic, and may engage in destructive behaviors such as lying, cheating, or even high-risk activities. Overt narcissists may be more prone to committing acts of violence or causing physical harm to other people. But the covert, these have that hidden sense of entitlement, so it's not as easily seen, and it comes out over time. They as a covert have a need for admiration, and they have a lack of empathy. People that are covert often appear to be modest, self-effacing, and self-sacrificing, but this is often just a facade that masks their underlying grandiosity and self-importance. So it gets real confusing that they seem so meek, but they feel that they're entitled. So coverts, they can engage in more subtle forms of manipulation, such as guilt tripping, gaslighting, or playing the victim. And they may be more adept at exploiting the vulnerabilities of others and may use perceived weaknesses as a way to gain power or control. They're very good at manipulating. These covert narcissists can also be more prone to engaging in passive aggressive type of behaviors or engaging in emotional abuse. So there are differences. So which one's more dangerous, you know? Is it the covert or is it the overt? Now we got to remember it depends on context, also on the individual. Overt may be more immediately harmful. Those might be the super quick ones that end in aggression and anger, physical violence, especially if they have access to resources or power that can be used to harm others. So sometimes, you know, they can utilize flying monkeys for their deeds, but covert narcissists may be more insidious. They may harm over a longer period of time, but both types are extremely harmful and dangerous to your mental health. And, you know, whether one or the other is more dangerous, they're both bad. And in response to the viewer, what do they feel? The narcissist has an odd way of wiping the slate clean sometimes. That if they have a mortification, some devastating act, whether it was cheating or some form of betrayal, they can go to black and white thinking they can split all good, all bad, never talk to you again. They have a hard time with the gray area. You're either all good or all bad, and what's known as splitting or black and white thinking. So it just depends on if you've been split and what the lack of supply is. They do think about exes here and there, you know, but it's not in a loving way. It's not, damn, why did I do that? And I should have been kinder. It's more like, why won't they be with me? And they're frustrated that, you know, that we're just not there, but it's not the love. It's hard to explain because we do love, but their love is so different. It's self-serving, and it gets confusing because sometimes they seem like strong people, but that's you know how those animals can puff up really, really big. They're still a 2-pound animal, but they just puffed up. And that's kind of what we see is we see this facade that they're the strong person, they know what they want, and inside they're this meek child who is confused and exploitive, just wants what they want. I did a video on you know, spoiling, if you spoil a child too much, also what neglect does to a child. And you know, in childhood, you really learn different coping techniques, and we have our whole childhood to prepare us for the adulthood. But a lot of children are just set free. They haven't gone through the stages they were meant to go through. And will this narcissist ever come to emotional adulthood? That would be extremely hard for them because the communication between the neurons and the neurotransmitters is lacking, you know, and just like, you know, our brains communicating, even with languages, kids pick it up. Kids pick up foreign languages, but it's a lot harder in adult life. And same goes with trying to change your personality. They're happy. They just want to be accepted for who they are, just like we want that. And it's just a destructive way of being, and it'll drain people. And the worst part of it is the lies and the gaslighting, because and also it causes you to walk on eggshells, but it causes us to go into cognitive dissonance, and it's so confusing, and we don't know who this person is. So we also don't know what our life is. We can't plan our life. If you make plans to go out on Thursday and then they screw you over and then now you're too depressed to go out on Friday or whatever happens, there's all these cycles of sadness or confusion. And yes, they do think about the person, not that much, but they have fleeting thoughts and then the thoughts go. They don't get stuck for months or weeks or years like we do, where we're ruminating and crying and, you know, um, they'd be more likely to get angry um, than sad but it's all self-serving. It's not because they feel bad what they did to you and they want to make it up to you. It's that they feel bad what's going on in their life, regardless of who's at fault. So it's still one-sided. And most narcissists aren't aware of the deepness of the toxicity, so they're not going to correct it appropriately. They don't even comprehend it. So I hope that was helpful. Topic requests are welcome, and it's a tough road ahead, but we are going to get through it together. One-on-ones are available. Topic requests are welcome, and I'll see you hopefully in live chat. We're doing it this Friday and Saturday. I try to do those on the weekends. Check your date. Today is the 30th. Hope to see you soon. Bye.